Hey everyone! Welcome back to my channel. Today we're gonna be doing an anime plan with me, and so for my May 2021 bullet journal setup, I'm going to be focusing on the theme that is inspired from an anime I watched called Darling in The Franxx. This is an anime that I recently just finished watching, and it's definitely one of my favorite animes by far. If you haven't watched the anime, basically the story revolves around these children that have their purpose to pilot these machines called the Franxx to protect the city. And for the children to be able to pilot the Franxx, a male and a female has to pair up together. And in the beginning of the anime, they also tell a story about this legend of a one-winged bird. And so this bird is called the Jan, and they can't fly on their own. However, whenever they pair up with someone else, they can be each other's wings and fly together. And so throughout this anime, you see the children try to pair up with one another and really try to find their purpose as well, apart from just piloting the Franxx. And that's actually one of the reasons why I love this anime so much, is that I really love stories where they don't just follow the status quo, but they really try to find a purpose in their life that is right for them. And I always find these stories super inspiring because I feel like it's really those people that have the courage to question or move against the status quo that really changes the future for the better. And one quick tip when it comes to coloring in your bullet journal, I actually feel that coloring is my weak spot when it comes to bullet journaling, and so I decided to just color the background instead and leave the drawing of 02 in black and white. So if you also feel that coloring is your weak spot, there can be other creative ways for you to add color in your bullet journal without coloring everything on the page. The next page that I like to include in my bullet journal after the cover page is usually always a tracker page and a one-line-a-day page. And you guys know me, I love my duct tape to be able to create these circular trackers, and so this is what I'm gonna use. I love using duct tape because you can use it to create the inner and outer ring of the circle as well, to be able to really get this clean look. And so this page is really inspired by the opening scene of the anime, and as you can see, I kept the shadow of Hiro and 02, which are the main characters of the Darling in the Franxx anime, and I also wanted to keep the lettering style throughout the page as well. You can definitely change this page for a mood tracker or a habit tracker as well. For me, I find that tracking my mood isn't really that helpful in my bullet journal just because my mood fluctuates a lot throughout the day, and so instead I decided to use a mindfulness tracker. That way I can classify whether I'm feeling really mindful and present in my days with high, medium, or low. You can also switch this into something like an energy tracker, and so if you feel that your moods fluctuate way too much throughout the day, you can definitely give this type of tracker a try. I'm also going to be using the same pink pen to color the background of the circle tracker, and this is the Tombow brush pen with the color 772. I'll also be linking all of the products that I use in the description down below, along with a free bullet journal starter guide where I also show you a lot of different layout ideas. And so if you want more bullet journal page ideas, make sure to go check out the starter guide in the description below. Next to the tracker page is going to be my gratitude page, or my one-line-a-day page, and this is my favorite way to set up my bullet journal because having this gratitude page next to my tracker page is really gonna help me see the trends in my day-to-day life. And so by being able to see the trends of what was happening that day that made me feel super grateful or super mindful, I can learn from those trends and try to recreate those days by doing more of the things that make me feel really grateful and mindful. And so if you want to use your bullet journal as a way to be more introspective with yourself and learn more about how you can improve your life and your mental health, I really recommend doing these two sets of pages right next to each other. And for this gratitude page, I decided to draw Kokoro, which is one of the characters in Darling in the Franxx. And spoiler alert, she wanted to express her feelings and create her own wedding. And I found that really powerful because she decided to express her feelings and create her own wedding despite the fact that their wedding was against the rules, and it was really sad, but they ended up crashing their wedding and they even erased the memories of the wedding. But anyways, it really left a mark for me because it really shows a lot of courage when somebody is building their own happiness. And so I wanted to draw her in my gratitude page as a reminder to myself that I have everything within me to also go and create my own happiness. The next next pages that we're going to create is going to be our bullet journal weekly spread layouts, and for this month I'm going to be focusing on using one-page bullet journal weekly spread layouts. And I really love using a one-page weekly spread because it helps me not overload my week with too many tasks to do. But if you're also someone that likes to switch it up in your bullet journal layout, you can also check out my other video where I talk to you about the 8 different types of bullet journal weekly spreads, and so that can give you a lot of variety and it can help you really switch things up so that you don't get bored with your bullet journal. And let me know in the comments down below if you want more tips on how you can stay consistent with your bullet journal. I know that when I first got started with bullet journaling, staying consistent with it was one of the biggest challenges that I had when I first started. So I definitely want to help you out if you feel like you're currently struggling to stay consistent with it, or you're just struggling to stay motivated and keep up with your bullet journal. For the bullet journal weekly spread layouts, I'm also going to be drawing the Franxx on the side of the page next to the weekly spread layout. And these are the Franxx that the children are supposed to pilot in the anime. And the Franxx design that I drew on my bullet journal was inspired by another artist that I found on Pinterest. The original artist who drew this is named Argonaut11, so all credits to the original artist. But a quick tip when it comes to creating a theme for your bullet journal is that if you feel like the original art style is a little bit too hard for you to draw, you can also look at different art sites to see if somebody has also created a simpler version of that drawing for you to be able to recreate. And for example, you can browse on something like Instagram, Pinterest, Google, or even DeviantArt as well. These are all really great options for you to get extra inspiration for the theme that you want to draw, while also getting ideas on simpler ways for you to be able to draw these characters. And of course, if you take some inspiration from another artist, definitely give them the credit they deserve as well. So the next bullet journal weekly spread is also going to follow a similar layout where I'm going to use a one-page weekly spread while also incorporating the drawing of a Franxx as well. And for this bullet journal layout, I really love to use a black and white combination for the weekly spread because I find that it really gives a lot of contrast to the page and it really makes it pop. Something to note when it comes to creating a black header and using white ink on top of it, it really depends on the combination of the black pen that you use and also the white pen as well. I found that certain combinations doesn't give such a clean, opaque look to it. And a quick tip I can give you when you want to create the black and white headers like this is to avoid any water-based pens. For example, the Tombow brush pens are actually water-based, and so even if you're using a black Tombow brush pen, no matter what white pen you put on top of the brush pen, it's really not gonna give you that clean look. The white pen is really gonna smudge with the water base of the Tombow brush pen. So try to use a different pen. Maybe you're using just a regular black pen, or in this case, I'm actually using the Tombow Fudenosuke pens to create the black headers. After I finish creating the black headers, I really like to use this Uniball Signo white pen in my bullet journal. I find that the white pops so well against the black and I prefer this pen way more than the Sakura Jelly Roll. And make sure to subscribe because I'm also going to be creating another video where I show you guys which is the best white pen for you to get. I'm also going to be comparing how the white pen looks against different backgrounds so you can decide and choose which pen would be the best one for you. The next page that we're going to create in our bullet journal setup is going to be the quote page. So for this page, I decided to go with a quote that 02 said herself in the anime, and she says, "If you don't belong here, build a place where you do." This is a little bit of a spoiler alert, but just to give you a little bit of context, if you haven't watched the show, 02 is actually not completely human, and so she kind of feels like the outcast, and all she wants is to become human so that she can fit in with everyone else. And as someone that's an introvert, I really relate to this a lot because there has been so many scenarios where I kind of just feel like an outcast, or I just feel like I didn't really fit in. I also remember that growing up when I was 5 years old, I actually went to school in Germany and I actually didn't know how to speak German. And so every day when I went to kindergarten, I actually couldn't speak to anyone because I couldn't speak the language. And so growing up, I actually felt like I was someone that was so different from everyone else. And even as I grew grew up, I felt that this feeling kind of stuck with me for a really long time. It's kind of funny to say, but it was actually the internet that helped me find a lot of the people that I can relate to this day. And because of the internet, I was able to play a lot of online games that helped me meet a lot of my friends that I'm still close to this day. A lot of my closest friends that I still have to this day was because we spent so much time online gaming together. And apart from that, I'm also really happy to have a platform like Instagram and YouTube to be able to share my passion for art and also meet a lot of passionate creators as well. So thank you guys so much for being a part of this community and also supporting me with my art. It really means a lot to me. And if you're also someone that's currently feeling like an outcast, or you feel like you don't have anyone that relate to you, just know that it does get better. I know it's easier said than done, but the more that you can truly just be yourself and be proud of who you are, the more you're gonna attract people that also share the same interests and really like you for who you are. If you guys enjoyed this AniMAY plan with me bullet journal setup, make sure to give this video a thumbs up, and I hope to see you in another one of my videos. Thank you so much for watching. Bye!